Hello, children. Have you been good? Have you been active? Have you been eating? Have you been sleeping? Because I don't think I've done any of those things. But I'd like you guys to. I have been studying so much that I fear I may lose my mind. Oh yeah, happy Easter. I know it's Happy Trans Day. Happy Trans Day. If it's exam week is just nearly approaching, like it is for me, happy exam week, or I guess sad exam week. The plan for today is we're gonna do an efficient one because, as I mentioned, it is exam week. I will hang around for a bit longer than I did last stream, which was what, 3 weeks ago. Fuck, because my throat infection is nearly done. It's nearly finished this round, which is great. But yeah, we will be reading Pied Piper, chapter 21, but I think I'm going to do that last, because the first thing I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be reading 4 fanfics, but they're all quite short, and they're all by the same author, who I've done a lot of her work before, Faith Wood, but she has 4 different wonderful fanfics that I've always wanted to read, but they're all around 2,000 words. So I thought maybe what I'll do is I'll record them all, put them into one video so that you guys have them all in one little place, and that way I don't have to edit 4 different videos in the middle of exam week, which I think is a pretty good compromise. You will like them. I can guarantee that. But they'll all be all short story diaries, and then we'll move on to reading Pied Piper. That's what I was thinking of. So yeah, that's the plan. I just realized I was testing the settings on this thing and it's still on. Hold on. How do I... There we go. I was trying to, because YouTube Studio updated itself, so I was fixing the shading to make sure I was the right size for the stream. I just left it on there. That's okay. Hold on. I'm gonna to change it, and then now it fits. The shading's a bit weird even in this scene though. Yeah. Jaden, what happened to you, my dude? The tea was good. I feel kind of ill now, but it tasted good. Should I get more? Probably not. Probably not. Hold on, I'm gonna pop up the first stream. There we go. There's our first fic. And I'm just gonna fix the cropping on it. Is it because I'm reading on my monitor? Maybe? Shouldn't have changed anything. Hold on. Let me scale it. There we go. Okay. You burnt your finer? What's a finer? Oh, finger. That's not good. I burnt my arm with chicken nuggets like 4 months ago. And, it looks like I cut myself on the top of my arm. But it's just chicken nuggets. It does make me kind of look like I do exercise, which is pretty cool. There we go. Now I think you guys can read it. I'm gonna change the banner and then we'll just get started, I think. The good thing about reading short stories is you guys will be able to join every now and again and be reading a completely different story. So, hold on. Reading now. Hello, Ace. By the way, I didn't say hello to everyone. That's what I usually do. Hello, Mineral. Hello, Malson. Hello, Anna. Hello, Jelly Roll. Hello, Chelsea. Hello, Icewater. Hello, Jaden, I guess, if I have to. Hello, JM. There's a lot of people that joined this morning. I guess because I haven't streamed in a while. I'm sorry about that, by the way. I don't know what's going on with my throat. It just hates me. It's been like 2 years, and I swear to God, every time I've said I've had a throat infection, I've had the same throat infection that just keeps coming back. Don't drink more expired tea. Y'all are so bad at encouraging proper living habits within chat. Okay. I'm making pancakes. Oh, I want pancakes. What the fuck? Don't say that shit. Now I want pancakes. No, I can't. I've got to do work today. R.I.P. me. Maybe I'll go get pancakes at night. When I finish sewing today. Okay. Let's do this. Yeah, I'm sorry it's such a spotty schedule. It's because I'm in my last year of uni right now, so I've got a lot of work to do. Plus I'm trying to keep on top of my social battery and everything, and it's nightmarish. And I got addicted to Stardew Valley, which is really not helping. But this is the author, by the way. I've read a lot of her fics before, but if you guys ever get bored, she has a lot of explicit ones that I've never read. So if you're more interested in that kind of stuff, check her out. She's really good. She's just a very good author. And probably we'll end up reading those eventually. Okay. I'm gonna do the introduction for the YouTube video, and then we shall get started. Hey, it's Mika. Just a quick important PSA. I've noticed that some people have been hold on. I need to put a PSA because someone threatened to kill me the other day because I didn't read their fic, and I think I probably need to put a stop to that now. So give me a second. I'm gonna record that. I'd do it later, but to be honest, I don't think I'll have the time. Oh, that's why it's doing that to me. Hold on, I gotta restart Audacity then. Audacity, why do you do this to me? Yeah, I've been getting some very interesting comments recently. People threatening to kill me themselves. People getting aggressive because I don't post enough. So I just... yeah, I just thought I'd maybe just quickly say something about it, because it's been bothering me a little bit. Hey, it's Mika. Just a quick PSA. I've been getting... shit. I've been getting some rude and very aggressive messages about my update schedule, as well as the stuff that I read on here. Specifically how I don't read specific ships and fandoms. And I'd like to say, please don't do that. I know because I post on YouTube, it sort of seems like I operate similar to your favorite YouTuber and such, but my content is fan content, so I operate very similarly to fan art, in that I create what I want to see for free for me, and you guys just happen to get to witness it. Of course, I'm always open to suggestions, and I don't mind you guys leaving requests and stuff down in the comments, although if you do have a specific fic you'd like to see, please put it in the Discord, so then I can come back to it later and actually read through it. But yeah, don't threaten my life. If it bothers you that much that I won't read your fic, read it yourself, I guess. Is that rude? I don't know. Anyway. Today's video is a collection of short stories by the very talented Faith Wood. They're all too short for me to make a full video on them, but they are all amazing, so I would like to read them all for you guys in one video. It was very shocking. I don't know what was wrong with them. I think maybe they were meant it in in a funny way, but it did not come off in a funny way. I was very confused. I think it was meant to be joking because they had a laugh emoji after it, and I was like, you just threatened to kill me because I didn't read your BNHA fic. That's not funny. I don't know. I've been thinking about making cookies. You should do that. I love cookies, and if I could eat cookies, I would. All the time. I have a 2-liter bottle of the Kirk's Creaming Soda right above my head, and at some point I'm gonna give up today and start drinking it straight from the bottle. So this will be a very productive day for us. Okay. Slammed by Faith Word. The first time it happened, Draco had nearly suffered a heart attack. Which was understandable. Anyone would have been terrified to see Harry Potter, defeater of the Dark Lords and basilisks and dementors, walking towards them with that determined glint in his eyes. Like he had just been told he needed to save the world again, and he was ready to blast every obstacle that was daft enough to block his path. And Draco was not daft. One look at Potter's expression had him stepping aside, and looking over his shoulder to see which unfortunate soul had earned him Potter's ire. Nope. And looking over his shoulder... One look at Potter's expression... One look at Potter's expression had him stepping aside, and looking over his shoulder to see which unfortunate soul had earned Potter's ire, and would now be crushed into dust. But there was no one standing behind Draco. The corridor was empty, and Potter kept coming, like there was a fire-splitting dragon right there in Draco's place, and Potter meant to strangle it with his bare hands. For one tiny second, Draco considered holding his ground, and retaining on. Draco considered holding his ground. I want to make cookies now. You guys do so many exciting things. All I do is sew. For one tiny second, Draco considered holding his ground, and retaining an air of dignity, because Potter had no reason to be cross with him. Hi, Pillow. I'm your father. And the reason you don't remember me is because I never raised you. But it's good to meet you, son. I'll give you $10. Go buy yourself an ice cream. Deal? But Draco had been so careful. Careful to smile at the right people and frown at the wrong people. Careful to greet the Hufflepuffs, wrong people. I left for the milk and I'm not coming back. The wrong people. You sew too? Bro, I'm sorry. Anyone who sews doesn't deserve that. And hate sewing, man. Worst part of being a fashion student. Just don't come back without the milk. I'm not coming back. Why do you think I left? I still remember it like it was yesterday. I walked into the hospital room and you were there in that little plastic tub, and I went, keep him. And then I left. And ever since, I've been living in this really nice house in Australia, and honestly, I am so glad. Every day I wake up and I go, oh, thank God, because best choice I ever made. Can you imagine raising this shithead? Oh, and frown at the wrong people. Careful to greet Hufflepuffs with a cheerful, good morning, and pick up dropped books, even if the student who had dropped them was a bushy-haired muggle-born, or worse, a ginger blood trader. Why, Draco had even decided that he should... Wait, fuck. Why, Draco had even decided that should he ever go to the Muggle world, which was admittedly unlikely, but no one ever knew, and see an old lady attempting to cross the street, he would, indeed, help this hypothetical model... He would, indeed, help this hypothetical Muggle cross it, and risk being hit by one of those ridiculous metal contraptions, which looked like ugly carriages and were presumably pulled by invisible, and obviously stolen, wizard horses. And he had told Blaise as much, very loudly. and Potter had been standing nearby at the time, so he must have heard Draco say it. So, really, whatever Potter thought Draco had done, he was clearly wrong, and this was a misunderstanding. Except, sometimes Draco didn't see Potter lurking about. And then he had possibly said something that might have insulted Potter's delicate sensibilities. And if this were the case, then it was likely too late to plead reformed Death Eater, unjustly bullied and innocent. It was time to do what Slytherins did best, which was surviving at all costs. Draco spun around and ran. As far as plans went, it was a decent one, but perhaps not when one was being chased by defeater of Dark Lords and Basilisks and Dementors, because obviously if you defeated all those impossible odds, you were probably really, really fast. Which Potter was. Fast and unreasonably strong for such a thin, wiry creature, and Draco found himself flying back and around, and was then slammed against the bumpy stone wall with Potter's fingers curled around his hips. If his breath hadn't been knocked out of him, Draco would have opened his mouth and waxed poetic about his innocence. But he had only managed to open his mouth, which was apparently all Potter needed to implement his vicious plan, clearly meant to murder Draco by way of asphyxiation. I think that's worse. They take up some... Yeah, don't fill up all the way. Oh, you guys talking about what boxes you get your milk in? I get them in them plastic bottles, but you can also get them in the cardboard, like, cartons as well. Hey, Will. I just ate an Easter egg that was left on my desk for 4 days. Jaden, what is with you and eating expired food? Although I guess an Easter egg is probably fine, as long as it's not an actual egg. Yeah, this is some interesting choices. Sometimes when I read Dry Fix, I forget that they survived a war, and probably their idea of, like, most things is fucked. But, I don't know. It was odd, Draco acknowledged, that Potter should try to do him in by kissing him senseless. But on the other hand, it was working, so Draco did not worry about Potter's strange methods as much as he worried about the end result. His vision darkened, and stars danced in front of his eyes, and there was no air to be found in Draco's proximity. Only in Potter's lips and tongue, and sweet scent of shampoo, which was possibly as deadly as Potter's kiss. No! My voice is failing me! His vision darkened. Hold on, we're redoing that line, y'all. Yeah, plastic bottles. Y'all think the squares take up space? Hold on. Y'all haven't seen true... Hold on. Hold on. Pillow, you are so wrong because you've never seen the milk cartons you get in Australia. Look at this thing. Look at it. It don't need a handle. Just make them smaller. We literally have to wedge these into our fridge. They're so inconvenient. Like this is a nightmare. Like, I don't, no, absolutely not. Like, this is the one I usually get. Like, this exact brand and everything. That shit's so annoying. There is, like, a whole chunk of that carton missing. I get the 2 liter, this is the 1 liter. I get the 2 liter. They're double this size. They've still got the handle. It's bullshit. There's a whole chunk of the milk missing. Because of this dumbass handle. It's ridiculous. But then if you want to get like, if you want to get them in like the box like this, then they're more expensive, so no one gets them. I don't know. I don't really understand the milk bags, but I think it's probably just a Western thing. Much as he worried about the end result. Like it doesn't make sense in my brain because it looks sort of gross. But I mean, probably if you grow up with it, then it doesn't matter. That looks like an American one. Yeah, I think American ones are similar. Tired. Okay. His vision darkened, and stars danced in front of his eyes. And there was no air to be found in Draco's proximity. Only Potter's lips and tongue, and sweet scent of shampoo, which was possibly, and sweet scent of shampoo, which was possibly as deadly as Potter's kiss. Potter's shampoo had apparently murdered Potter's hair, and turned it into a permanent, hopeless mess, after all. Who knew what other horrid things it could do? Potter stepped back. Much too soon, as... Hold on. Potter's... Redo this. Oh god, my mom's playing music. Hold on, I'm gonna mute it and ask my mom to reduce the volume. If you're wondering how insanely weird my mom is, I just told her, could you reduce the sound of the music? And she turned it off and then immediately started the vacuum. So. Choices. Hold on. Why did you do that? Yeah. Okay, I'm back. What do you mean, W, Mom? I'm not recording if the... Who knew what other horrid things it could do? Okay. Literally, I only ask her to do this once a week. And usually, not everyone's here. It's just because it's a public holiday. Otherwise, my stuff is perfectly timed so that no one's in the house and no one has to deal with me. But today, nightmare. Potter stepped back. Much too soon, as Draco was still alive. And then turned and left, possibly arrogant enough to believe he was just so good at defeating evil that Draco would simply fall down and die. Draco survived, however, just despite him, and by dinner time he was actually able to breathe properly again. Meow. And by dinner time he was actually able to breathe properly again. Why am I... Draco survived. Draco survived, however, just despite him. And by dinner time, he was actually able to breathe properly again. and even walk on reasonably steady feet. Potter stared at him from the Gryffindor table of the Great Hall, smiling in a distinctly creepy way that gave Draco rather disturbing dreams that night. The second time it happened, Draco was just about to exit the boys' bathroom on the 3rd floor. Instead, he was slammed against the tiled wall, and kissed senseless for so long his lips were beginning to tingle, and his knees threatened to turn to jelly. He should have expected it, perhaps. Potter was known for his inability to give the fuck up. Well, why am I saying meow loudly? What? Didn't I do this once already? Potter said, body pressing even closer, intent on crushing Draco between himself and the wall. And then, without warning, he attacked Draco's neck with his teeth and lips. And Draco realized that Potter was in fact a vampire, and was surely after Draco's blood. He certainly sucked on Draco's skin hard enough. Which was actually kind of nice. Which, additionally, confirmed Draco's theory, as vampires were likely to suck you dry and make you like it. That was their most cruel power. Potter must not have been very hungry, however, as he pulled back eventually and then drew a sharp breath, blinking at Draco and licking his lips, which were not bloody, so the vampire theory was quickly abandoned and replaced by another. Potter, Draco decided, was possessed. This theory seemed much more likely, especially after Potter smiled at him, as though he didn't just ravish Draco, and then ran a hand through his black hair in a sweet, innocent sort of way, and then turned around and fled. Draco resolved to not let Potter catch him off guard again. Hold on, y'all. I can hear my mom about to take a call, so... and then turned around and fled. And then ran a hand through his black hair in a sweet, innocent sort of way, especially after Potter smiled. Hold on, y'all. Potter catch. Update, she was calling my dad, who is literally downstairs. Just walk. What the hell? Wow, Draco has black. Yeah, you guys, like, confused me. I thought I said it wrong, and then I had to go back and listen to it. Again. Hey, don't insult blondes. Let's all insult blondes. No, it's okay. You can be blonde. You just look weird. That's insulting. I shouldn't say that. You know what I recently realized? I don't want to get cancelled for being racist against white people. So I'm going to stop saying things about white people. I'm just going to ignore their existence. Because I don't think I'd be able to deal with it without... I don't even know how to explain it. I'd either laugh hysterically and then be incredibly angry. Yeah, no, that would be it. Basically, I'm scared that if I say white people can't cook, I will get attacked online. Therefore, I'm not going to say anything about white people from this point forward. It's just a precaution. From now on, they don't exist in my streams. You're all Asian now. Just so I feel a little bit more comfortable. The third time, Potter slammed again. The third time, Potter slammed him against a tree. Draco thought he was safe. There were students on the grounds, many of them. It was broad daylight, too. None of them stopped Potter, however. He simply walked over, pushed Draco against a tree, and kissed him. And would not stop kissing him. Even after several students gasped, one of them screamed, Weasley, possibly, and the giant squid seemed to splash its tentacles louder in the lake, as though excited by the display. Potter kissed Draco's lips, his jaw, his neck. Not even his earlobes were spared. Draco had to confess that Potter had an impressive talent for squirming in just the right way, making sure his thigh was pressed tightly against Draco's crotch, and his hips rolled in the most perfect rhythm that kept Draco mobile, despite his best efforts to convince himself to just push Potter away. Potter breathed hotly against the skin of Draco's neck for several long, dizzy moments, and then pulled away. "See you later," Potter threatened, with a smile, and then ran back to the castle. Students stared at Draco with wide eyes, and he self-consciously straightened the wrinkles on his shirt. This situation was getting out of control. Something had to be done. Nothing could be done. Draco had tried. He really did. He was determined to stay close to his friends and avoid Potter as best as he could. But there were times when Pansy said she wanted to go outside, and Blaise insisted they should go to the library, and Goyle begged him to go to the kitchens, and Draco just didn't feel like going anywhere, claiming he'd forgotten something in the potions classroom, and they should all go on ahead, and he would catch up with them soon. Seemed... Fuck, I'm gonna redo this. Anywhere. Claiming he'd forgotten something in the potions classroom, and they should all go on ahead, and he would catch up with them soon, seemed like a much better idea. And of course, after he said that, he had to linger. Walk around a bit, staying close to the potions classroom, in case one of his friends decided he was lying, and... Ugh! Walk around a bit. Walk around a bit, staying close to the potions classroom, in case one of his friends decided it was... Hold on, redo that. Walk around a bit, staying close to the potions classroom, in case one of his friends decided he was lying and returned to check. Draco simply had no choice. He had to risk it. Risk Potter showing up, which he was likely to do, since they had potions class together, and risk Potter dragging him to a dark corner and kissing him until Draco forgot his own name, and those tricky skills such as walking and breathe... Seriously? Hold on, guys. And risk Potter dragging him to a dark corner, and kissing him until Draco forgot his own name, and those tricky skills such as walking and breathing properly. But, well, at least Potter wasn't trying to murder him. That much was clear. He simply wanted to steal the remnants of Draco's sanity, which Draco supposed was a small price to pay for his sins. So, he might as well let Potter punish him in the way he saw fit. Draco was sort of getting used to it anyway. With all this kissing, Draco had forgotten one important fact. He had forgotten how annoying Potter could be. There Draco was, hovering near the Transfiguration classroom, and Potter was nowhere to be found, even though he was normally always there at this time of day, kissing Draco senseless. It was disconcerting. Draco had no way of knowing when and where Potter would finally show up, and he kind of liked knowing that before he was randomly and risk Draco had no way of knowing when and where Potter would finally show up. I think, yeah, there's a lot more people today, which is very nice. Welcome, soldiers. My army is growing. And he kind of liked knowing that before he was slammed against a random hard surface. Draco actually had to waste his precious time on looking for Potter. He had to shake a few Hufflepuffs and threaten a few Gryffindors. And only then he found out that Potter had abandoned him in favor of getting hit in the head by a bludger during Quidditch practice. One more time. And only then he found... One more time. And only then he found out that Potter had abandoned him in favor of getting hit in the head by a bludger during Quidditch practice. Which sounded suspicious, really, because Potter was not supposed to be that careless. His right to get hit by a random bludger had been revoked when he had so spectacularly defeated the Dark Lord. So Draco had to make sure people were telling the truth by visiting Potter in the hospital wing in the dead of night. Potter was indeed there, sleeping soundly. His black hair even blacker against the white pillow, and his face even paler in the moonlight. As far as conclusive evidence that Potter had been injured went, this was it, but there was a certain amount of kissing Draco was accustomed to, and he didn't get it today, so it was only reasonable to lean in and press a quick kiss to Potter's lips. Potter opened his eyes. "Hey," he said, and smiled, as though one of his friends came to visit him, and he was determined to give them an exceedingly warm welcome. "Hey," Draco said, and then kissed him again, just because he could. Because Potter was lying down, and he was completely helpless, and Draco was the one who could shock him with random kisses. Except Potter didn't look shocked. He was smiling, and when Draco would kiss him, he'd sigh and hum a little. Which was kind of charming, so Draco kept doing it. Was actually unable to stop. "You should go," Potter said suddenly. "You have classes tomorrow." "Sounds boring," Draco said. And it would be terribly boring if Potter was stuck here. "It's important," Potter said, after sighing and humming a little because Draco had kissed him again. "Your newts are important." "Yeah," Draco agreed, and sat down on the edge of Potter's bed. "I think I'll stay here." Potter's soft little sighs after each kiss were important too. Possibly the most important thing in the universe. "Hey, Aya." Alia! Ah! I read that so badly. And you're a frequent viewer as well. Now I feel bad. I'm sorry. Important thing in the universe. I wonder if rotten... Jaden, stop eating people! What the fuck, man? Potter grinned, and then wriggled and squirmed until he freed one side of the bed. In that case... Potter cocked his head. He was a bit cold, just sitting there, Draco decided, and then quickly took off his shoes and climbed onto the bed beside Potter. It was much warmer beneath the covers. Oh my god, I need to turn off my phone notifications. It was much... Hold on. Oh, my boss sent me a photo. Hold on, I want to see this. It's gonna be good. Oh my god! Oh my god! They made my nail set! Hold on. Guys, so, I've recently started designing for a brand, that makes nails, and, my first set just got made. Hold on, I'll show you guys a photo. Hold on. Hold on. This is a very good day indeed. Hold on. They're so cute. Oh my god. Sorry, my tracking's off. Give me a second. It's the Miffy ones. I'm gonna put them up on screen. Hold on. Oh my god. I'm so excited. Hold on. Oh my god. It's such an honor, honestly. I know it's my job, but like, it's such an honor. It's like, this is like, okay, full context, I've been buying from this brand since they got established in like 2 years ago. So like, I love this brand. So the fact that they're making my designs is insane. Hold on, I'll put it up on stream. Give me a second. Oh my god. To think my designs are gonna be made by talented people is just insane. Okay, hold on. I'm downloading it. It's an Australian-based brand. I don't know if they do global shipping, unfortunately, but they're called XQ Nail, and they are lovely, and they're awesome, and they're very talented. Hold on. I'll show you what it looks like. Oh, what a lovely day. What a lovely, lovely day. Okay, give me a second. I'll put it up on the screen. It won't be very clean, but it'll be very pretty. Okay, hold on. There we go. Hold on, I'll resize it. So this is the nail set that I designed. It's a Miffy set. Hold on, let me resize this. But they're so cute! Oh my god! I'll put the brand up on the screen. Give me a second. Oh my god. Hold on, give me a second. Oh, I will show you the brand. Hold on. I'll show you Instagram. They are so talented. Oh my god. I am so lucky. I'm literally the luckiest person ever. This is the best job I've ever had, and I'm such a big fan. Here we go. There we go. This is the Instagram. XQ Nail Studio. I work for them, so if you are in Australia and you come by, just pretend it's not me. But they're so cool. I own these ones. They're so cute. They're very talented. And I recently started designing for them. So screaming, shitting, crying. Oh my god. Anyway, that's what's going on in my personal life. I'm gonna go back to doing my job. Oh my god. I literally drew those like what, a month ago, and I was not expecting them to make them that fast. Wow. Oh my god. They are reusable, yeah. I own at least 30 of them, and I've had, over 2 years, I've bought about 30 of them, and I've never broken a set. Although I am probably an exception in that case. But I wear them pretty much, quite often, I think. If you're able to buy them, I highly recommend them. They're amazing. If you're ever looking for press-on nails, they're amazing. You can, but you're not going to. No, it's so fair. They're not for everyone, definitely. Most people prefer acrylics, but they're really good for like university students that can't wear press-on nails and stuff. I love them, so. I love that they're short fix, but I'm still on the first one. That's the sad thing. I got distracted too much. Potter. I mean, to be fair, most of my streams are usually like 6 hours, so when I say short, I mean like 3 hours at least. Bed beside Potter. Oh yeah, they'll be very expensive, unfortunately. Because they're all handmade as well, they're usually pretty expensive, which is such a shame. But, you know, they're just awesome to look at, honestly. It was much warmer beneath the covers. Warmer still when Potter scooted closer and tangled his legs with Draco's. Hey, this one, I'm currently reading Slammed. They're all by Faith Wood, but the name is the name is called Slammed. Tangled his legs with Draco's. Sorry, I was expecting this one to be a lot shorter. Well, it is still quite short for me, but, you know. Okay, anyway. Draco's. Actually, we need to finish at least one fic today, so I actually have something to post. Draco kissed Potter again, unhurriedly, licking and nibbling at his lips, then wrapping his tongue around Potter's and sighing into his mouth. He pulled back to see Potter breathing deeply, with his eyes closed and his lips parted and wet. Potter cracked an eye open. Well, don't stop. I'm not redoing that. Well, don't stop, Potter said. Draco stared at him. You really are trying to kill me, aren't you? I'm mostly trying to seduce you, Potter said, then grinned and gave Draco a sideways glance. Is it working? No, Draco said. You're injured and drugged. So, shut up and sleep. I'm redoing that. Draco said. I'm lucky I have one person watching me. Honestly, the fact that you guys come back week after week and watch me, even when I have, like, such a shit schedule, is so sweet of you. Honestly, I'm just lucky you guys hang out with me. You're injured. And drugged. So, shut up and sleep. Potter laughed and snuggled closer. It's working, he mumbled, and nodded confidently against Draco's neck. Draco did not contradict him. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm gonna take a very quick break. I'm gonna go get water because I can feel my voice being dubiously challenged, and then this is gonna be the next one we move on to, which is the second longest one. We're going longest to shortest, so anyway, be right back. I'm back. Okay. Sorry, I was gonna go. I need to tell my boss I love them and that she's amazing. I'm back. Do you guys go get water? Guess what I got? Hold on, you might be able to hear it. Hold on. Yeah, maybe don't do the cannibalism thing. I don't mind occasional jokes, but let's not dedicate the whole stream to it. Because otherwise, I think maybe some people will start to feel alienated, my dude. Anyway, I've got a 2-liter bottle of creaming soda. Oh god, that's gonna sound intensely disgusting. Sorry if anyone has mysophobia like I do. They just had to listen to that. My apologies. I will be more careful. I don't wanna make like anti-ASMR. Okay, anyway, let's keep reading. Next fic. I need a... Should I have a transition sound between these stories, or... Quick disclaimer at the end of that video. Don't kiss people without consent. This is a good story, but don't do that. Anyway. Edible smudges and insufferable potters. And insufferable smudges and edible potters. By Faith Word. There was a smudge on Potter's cheek. Not very far from the left corner of his lips. It wasn't huge, but considering Draco could see it, and he was sitting on the opposite side of the long table, it was too damn big and too damn annoying. And distracting. How was one supposed to study? On a Saturday evening, no less, which was distracting in itself, when a grown-up individual, supposedly, a hero, according to some, and a person who was just generally annoying, smudges or no smudges. The truth most people failed to recognize, though Draco was not so easily fooled, unashamedly demonstrated his incompetence by failing to successfully use a fucking quill. And that wasn't all. That wasn't even the worst of it. By the looks of the label on Potter's inkwell, Draco... Shit. Potter was one of those students. One of those insufferable, impractical, sheep-like students that thought it fine and dandy... No, fuck. One of those See a mineral? I think it's intense with like of certain sounds. I know specifically mouth sounds really I hate. Students. So I try and like limit them in my own recordings as well. Students. Because I know some people don't like them and I don't want to make I don't want to make the listening process uncomfortable for people. But I think it can be anything really. One of those insufferable, impractical, sheep-like students that thought it fine and dandy to buy the entire line of Weasley's Fuck! One more time. One of those insufferable, impractical, sheep-like students that thought it fine and dandy to buy the entire line of Weasley's Wizarding Wotsit new products of flavored school supplies, which included, but were not limited to, edible ink, edible quills, and edible parchment. Nothing worse than being stuck in a boring class with nothing to eat, the tagline had claimed. Weasleys. Honestly. The edible products mania had already claimed victims. Only 2 days ago, Hannah Abbott had suffered a complete breakdown during Transfiguration, tearfully claiming that Ernie Macmillan had eaten her essay. The situation was made even worse when it was discovered that she had used strawberry-flavored ink and cheese-flavored parchment. The class had to be dismissed because the students were nauseated. And the incident with Neville and his edible cauldron was best left forgotten. Draco shrugged at the memory. Yeah, that's why it's good that I don't breathe much. Best left forgotten. I know when I hear myself breathing in recordings sometimes, when I listen to them, I get annoyed. So, I've forgotten. And I try not to breathe too much as well in my recordings. I try to breathe regularly, but... Wait, makes no sense. Draco shuddered at the memory. One would think that the students would have learned their lessons. But here was Potter, happily writing his essay. Potions essay, Draco noted, craning his neck to see the book Potter had copied notes from. Draco squinted at the inkwell's label. Chocolate-flavored ink. Chocolate. Draco paused in his thoughts and stared at Potter's cheek. There was a chocolate smudge on Potter's skin, right next to his lips. Yes, that was the worst of it. That was the most distracting. All Potter had to do was lick it off. He could definitely reach it with his tongue. Bro, chimpanzees are so scary! What's up with that? Okay, chimpanzees and dolphins, they need a better reputation. I don't know what's going on, but we keep pretending that they're good and nice animals, and they're not. They're terrifying. All of them, terrifying. Did anyone see that one? I don't know if it was a chimpanzee. It was a fucking monkey, though. A monkey jumped into a woman's hair, and she was so, like thrown off by it. Like, she tipped her trolley. What is it called? Trolley? Is it a trolley? Walker for her kid. Her kid, like, her baby kid was in that thing, and she tipped it over because she was so shocked. Everyone to, like, pick up the baby. Man, it was crazy. Horrible, horrible creatures. Just filled with spite. I think that's the main problem with them. He could definitely reach it with his tongue. Should be banned, actually. Potter's tongue. Draco's thoughts paused themselves this time. Hold on. Draco's thoughts paused themselves this time. Then, they rewound, and played the hypothetical scenario of Potter licking away the smudge on his cheek with his tongue. Ugh, what was that? Did you see that? They rewound. And replayed the hypothetical scenario of Potter licking away the smudge on his cheek with his tongue. In slow motion. Draco shook his head to clear it. Potter's tongue probably wasn't long enough. More to the point, Draco probably shouldn't have spent his precious study time contemplating the length and flexibility of Potter's tongue. But, then again, it was a Saturday. And it was late, and he was bored. And no one else was around. The only people studying in the library at a time like this were abysmal potion students who had no girlfriends to distract them. Which surprisingly excluded Longbottom and Weasley, and included Potter. And repentant Death Eaters, worried about their newts and their futures. Or those who knew they should be worried about their newts and their futures. And even though they weren't, because worrying about such things caused them to suffer an existential crisis, they took care to be seen, studying. So yes, that meant the two of them were alone in the library. Draco's choices were limited. He could either stare at his History of Magic book, or at Potter. And at the moment, Potter annoyed him more. No, you were so right for that. I have nightmares about dolphins sometimes, so I get it. And at the moment, Potter annoyed him far more. Well, Potter annoyed him more than anything at any moment, which was probably the reason Draco stared at him so much. But there were so many things to be annoyed about when it came to Potter. His hair, for example. It was all over the place. It must have tickled his face and his neck, and really, how could anyone suffer a thing like that on a daily basis? His clothes. Did Potter absolutely have to pull up his sleeves and loosen his tie and undo the top button of his shirt? Did he have to do it all of the time? Did he have something against shirts that fit his figure? And on top of all of that, Potter was so unbearably fidgety. He seemed unable to sit still. He squirmed and ran his hand through his hair. He frowned and bit his bottom lip so much it stuck out inappropriately. It was red and wet and so absurd. No. It was red and wet and so abused Potter... Fuck. It was red and wet and so abused, Draco felt sorry for it. He felt so sorry for it. He would have happily... Is there a reason you keep staring at me? Draco blinked and looked around, unsure whether or not he was imagining things. But Potter looked up. His green eyes narrowed, and Draco realized that, yes, Potter had asked him a question. Ugh, Draco thought in distraction. And his glasses. He'd forgotten about Potter's ugly glasses. He tended to erase them from his memory when Potter's face appeared in his mind. He wondered if Potter slept with them, had sex with them on, had sex in a bed wearing nothing but them. Potter's eyebrows rose. See, Alia. Potter's eyebrows rose, and Draco blinked again. Potter had asked a question, and he was waiting for a response. Hold on, guys, my dad's calling me. This is my life now. You know, guys, at the start of every stream, I do a little walk around my house, if there's someone in the house. And I tell everyone, guys, I'm streaming. And yet, it seems like every single time, they are shocked. When they call me in the middle of stream, and this is gonna surprise you guys, I am streaming. Potter's eyebrows rose. I think I got my lack of listening skills from my parents. Potter's eyebrows rose, and Draco blinked again. Potter had asked a question, and he was waiting for a response. One Draco should provide if he wanted Potter to redirect his attention back to his essay. And he most certainly did. Potter's gaze was unsettling. You have a smudge on your left cheek, Draco informed him. Tone polite and long-suffering. Potter's hand shut up on reflex, wiping at his left cheek and missing the smudge by barely an inch. Draco couldn't resist. Your other left. Potter nearly brushed his right cheek, but then stopped abruptly to glare at Draco. He scowled and looked down at his essay again. The smudge was still there. Really, Potter, I'm not teasing. It's right above your mouth, and, well, it just looks embarrassing. Potter didn't look up. I don't have a problem with it. Draco sighed audibly. Don't be childish, just wipe it off. Potter ignored him. Lick it off? It was worth a try. Draco had theories about Potter's tongue, after all, and he wouldn't mind being presented with some actual evidence to support them. Potter looked at Draco through his fringe. "Mind your business," he said, rudely, and stabbed his parchment with a quill. Draco rubbed his temples. Of all petulant fools, why did he have to sit across from this one? It was now a matter of principle. Potter clearly thought Draco was lying. Draco had his honor to save. He picked up his wand and conjured a small mirror. One levitation charm later, it hovered near Potter. One levitation charm later, it hovered near Potter's head. "Here, have a look if you don't believe me," Draco said, as Potter blinked at the mirror. Potter looked at him, seemingly bemused and amused all at once. "Suppose it makes sense you know how to conjure pretty little mirrors on the spot. You learned that in our first year? The crib? Is it in your genes?" "You're easily impressed," Draco snapped, and, with his statement, the mirror snapped out of existence. Draco stared at the now empty air regretfully. "What do you mean, what happened? Guys? Guys, what?" Draco stared at the now empty air regretfully. "Guys, what happened? Did the stream go down? Guys?" Regretfully. "Huh? What's going on? Okay, we're fine. Okay. I'm so confused. What just happened? Wait, what? 911? Oh, we were talking about chimpanzees. And how they're a crime against humanity. And, general life. Okay, I thought I was, like, still muted or something. I was really scared. The air regretfully. Okay, where am I? Though, really, the fact that you can't conjure a simple mirror does explain a lot. Draco was pleased to note Potter looked vaguely hurt, or at the very least annoyed. He went back to his essay without a word. Can someone ban Mineral? He said he liked chimpanzees. I refuse to stand for this bullshit. I can't believe this, but I think I might actually be in agreement with Jaden for once. Menaces. Actual menaces. You wouldn't like chimpanzees if you knew what I knew about them. Probationary 5-minute timeout for liking chimpanzees. It was a small victory, Draco decided. But not a complete victory. The damn chocolate smudge was still there, and as distracting as ever. More than ever, actually. Now, it was mocking Draco with its mere existence. It was simply unacceptable. Resolved, Draco stood up and strode purposefully towards Potter. With a flick of his wand, a handkerchief appeared in his hand. Draco dangled it in front of Potter, who valiantly tried to ignore him but was apparently too surprised not to. Draco. Let me blow my nose. Hold on, y'all. I think he's already in the Discord, y'all. Hold on, I'm gonna blow my nose. I've been exclusively eating the spiciest food when possible so I can clear my sinuses out. And it's like barely working, y'all. Appeared in his hand. I wonder if the shops are open today. Hold on. See, why do y'all have like a whole week of holidays? Christians need to calm the fuck down. Okay, it's open. I'm gonna go get pancakes after this. His hand. Too many fucking holidays. With a flick of his wand. I've got things to do. With a flick of his wand, a handkerchief appeared in his hands. Draco dangled it in front of Potter, who valiantly tried to ignore him but was apparently much too surprised not to lift his head. Wipe it, Draco said. Ordered, even. Potter looked at the handkerchief, and then back at Draco, his mouth twitching. The handkerchief in Draco's hand disappeared with a pop. Draco stared at his hand, perplexed. His conjuring abilities weren't that terrible. The magic couldn't have worn off so quickly. Twice in a row, too. First the mirror, and now the handkerchief. Draco looked at Potter's hands. They were both accounted for, and there was no wand in sight. Not to mention the fact that Potter looked entirely too smug. Which must have meant Potter could vanish items with his mind. Which was surprising, and impressive, and curious. Curious in a way that made Draco's heart skip a beat, and his stomach perform a flip-flop and his blood rush in a very interesting direction. Wake up! Curious in a... Constant vigilance! Curious in a way that made Draco's heart skip a beat, and his stomach perform a flip-flop and his blood rush in a very interesting direction. Draco gathered his wits fairly quickly. If fairly quickly could describe a full minute of shocked silence. Fine, then, he said. If you're so powerful, impressive, strangely compelling to look at, eager to show off, he decided, then simply wish the smudge on your face to disappear. Potter pursed his lips, and Mullen was that a compelling sight too, looking thoughtful. If there really is a smudge on my cheek, it doesn't bother me, but it clearly caused you to have some sort of fit, so I think I'll keep it. Potter raised an eyebrow as though to ask, and how will you stop me? The fire that erupted in Draco's belly was pure anger. Nothing but anger. The smudge existed, damn it. Potter had no right to doubt him. It existed, and it should be erased. Wiped. Licked off, and if Potter wouldn't do it... Draco grabbed the back of Potter's chair and bent forward slowly, deliberately, watching Potter's eyes grow wider. He stuck out his tongue and gave the smudge a firm, wet lick. Chocolate. Definitely, he concluded. Potter didn't move. He didn't even breathe, and Draco didn't pop out of existence like the mirror and the handkerchief, which meant he'd found a way to get what he wanted. Which meant he should not do things halfway. No ink should be left on Potter's skin. Draco licked Potter again. He licked to the left, to the right. He licked Potter's lips and then licked them over again. And then one more time, even though they didn't taste like chocolate at all anymore. Then he straightened, nodded curtly at Potter's frozen, shocked expression, and surprised himself by walking steadily back to his seat. He managed to sit down and turn a page, as calm as one could be when their heart decided it no longer wished to be constrained by silly things such as rib cages. Draco was ready to study now. Nope. Draco was ready to study now. He was ready to stare at the book in front of him for hours. In fact, he could stare at it for the rest of the school year. He might actually do it. The house elves would bring him food. He'd be warm, if somewhat smelly. And he would never have... But he would never, ever have to look up and see other people and their green eyes. A small sound interrupted Draco's furious planning, and he was just about to try and conjure a tent. It sounded like Potter cleared his throat. He cleared his throat twice. 3 times. 4. Damn him. Draco looked up. Potter had a quill in his hand, pointy tip poised to his lips. It touched his bottom lip, smudging it with chocolate before it moved to his upper lip and did the same. His eyes still wide, Potter bent over his essay again and scribbled something on the parchment. A faint blush decorated his cheeks. And then Draco broke the rules of magic, and did something that surely... No. And then Draco broke the... Fuck, hold on. Okay. And then Draco broke the rules of magic, and did something that would surely be registered in the history books. He apparated inside Hogwarts walls. That was the only sensible explanation as to how he had suddenly found himself right next to Potter again, kneeling next to Potter's chair, his hands in Potter's hair, trapping his head between his palms. But history could wait when there was chocolate on Potter's lips. Draco licked it off carefully, then kissed it away for good measure. Then he conducted a thorough search, with his lips and tongue, to make sure there wasn't any chocolate left on Potter's cheeks, and his jaw and his lips, and his mouth and his tongue. He even checked the tip of Potter's nose, and the soft skin of his temples. When his inspection was complete, and Potter's cheeks and lips were reddened and warm, to Draco's surprise and delight, splatters of chocolate ink appeared on Potter's neck. Potter's green eyes twinkled mischievously behind his glasses, which weren't that ugly, really. And Potter's fingers ran... Bleh! And Draco's fingers ran through Potter's hair, which was softer than it looked. And he snuggled his face into the crook of Potter's neck. Possible thanks to Potter's loosened tie and undone top button. And then he carefully kissed away every trace of chocolate on Potter's skin, only to have it reappear again. Between kisses and ragged breaths, Draco decided he might end up living in the library after all, but with Potter, and his wandless magic, and his quiet moans and breathless pants, and his edible chocolate ink. Potter's shirt fell apart, and ink appeared on his chest. And as Draco licked his way down to Potter's stomach, he acknowledged, quietly to himself, that Weasley's inventions were utterly ingenious. As was Potter. Guys, you know what time it is? It's time for mid-fic disclaimer. No, and middle of two-fic disclaimer. Okay. Quick disclaimer for the last fic. Don't lick people without consent either. Great fic. Don't do it. Only works in fan fiction. I haven't tested it, but I'm fairly certain. Anyway. The punching machine. No. Guys, we've done 2 out of 3, and the last 2 are the shorter ones. And then we're going to move on to Piper, and I'm going to go get pancakes. I'm not even joking. The Punching Mistletoe by Faith Wood. Malfoy. Potter. I hate that. Potter. Nope, I'm redoing it. I changed my mind. I don't like that one either. Potter. See you, Will. Yeah, probably go to bed. That's a little bit late. I worry about y'all sometimes. Harry shook his head at himself. Meeting Malfoy in an empty Hogwarts corridor was occasionally unavoidable. He wished these run-ins were less awkward. Unfortunately, they never managed more than a quick nod and a clipped greeting. Maybe one day... Something bumped against Harry's nose. He couldn't move forward. There was nothing but empty air before him, but he couldn't get through. He ran his palms over the barrier, horrified. "No, no, no," he said, turning back to Malfoy, who ran into the same kind of barrier on the other side, not 5 feet away. They both looked up. Surely enough, obnoxious green mistletoe hovered above them. "You've got to get rid of those," Malfoy said. "No. "You've got to get rid of those," Malfoy said, panic clear in his tone. "No. They got rid of those," Malfoy said, panic clear in his tone. "Not all of them," Harry said grimly. "Some of them were hiding." Malfoy took out his wand. "Oh, come on, Malfoy. You'll only make it angrier." Harry was ready to summon Malfoy's wand if needed. Hogwarts professors had been struggling with malfunctioning... What the fuck did I just say? Harry was ready to summon Malfoy's wand if needed. Hogwarts professors had been struggling with malfunctioning mistletoes for a week. He didn't really trust any of the students to finally defeat them. Even Hermione had failed. There was only one thing they could do, though Harry was loath to do it. Malfoy fiddled with his wand for a bit, but seemed to think better of it. He put it away. Whatever, Potter. It's not like I mind. He grinned, flexing... He grinned. He grinned, flexing his fist in preparation. Harry sighed. Whatever happened to good old mistletoes that demanded a quick peck on the cheek? More importantly, what the hell happened to him? Not that long ago, he'd have welcomed a chance to punch Malfoy, especially if the alternative was kissing him. But, well, Harry approached, studying Malfoy's smirk. It could have been worse. Punching Malfoy was still better than punching someone else. Pain exploded in Harry's midriff. He didn't even see Malfoy's fist coming. God damn, Malfoy! Harry doubled over, clutching his stomach. You were dawdling, Potter. I don't have time for... Harry punched Malfoy in the nose. Malfoy cried out and stumbled back, hand covering his face. Fuck you, he managed. He wasn't even bleeding. Well, maybe a little. Harry's stomach cheered in delight. At least I didn't use my foot, Harry said, catching his breath. At least I didn't curse you and slice you open, Malfoy spat. Right. This is why he didn't want to punch Malfoy in the first place. They'd hurt each other for a lifetime, he reckoned. Harry sighed. Aren't we lucky, he said, and turned around, fully intending to leave. He smacked against the invisible barrier again. Come on, what the hell? Clearly I didn't punch you hard enough, Malfoy groused from behind him. I think... Harry poked the barrier. I think I heard about this. Apparently, one of them wants you to kiss and make up after punches. No, I'm pretty sure my theory is correct. No. I'm pretty sure my theory is the correct one. Malfoy's voice was much too close. Harry frowned and turned. Malfoy's fist collided with his jaw. This time, pain hadn't prevented Harry from reacting instantly. He slammed his knees. He slammed his knee between Malfoy's legs. Malfoy yelped and jumped back. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you! He was gasping but trying not to. Hit like a girl. His voice was very high-pitched. Harry grinned. Thanks. I did learn that one from girls. He wasn't lying. Tonks taught him that one. More than a year ago, when Harry told her he wanted to be an Auror. Go for the balls, Harry, she told him, when he'd asked about the best defense methods. Oh, really? Malfoy grimaced. So, what? Girls kept hitting you in the balls. Interesting. Harry rubbed his jaw. I think we should kiss. As if. Malfoy spun around and tried to leave. But the barrier pushed him back. He stumbled backwards, right into Harry's arms. Harry caught him on instinct. Malfoy quickly straightened and fixed his robes. He turned to glare at Harry, nose held high. I bet this is your fault. I bet you planted these mistletoes. You and the Weasleys. Yeah, because we wanted to punch and kiss half of Hogwarts. So you admit it? Harry grabbed Malfoy's jaw. Malfoy tried to wiggle away, but their movements were restricted. The barrier was closing in on them. Hold still, he ordered. And Malfoy might have realized why, because he stayed put as Harry took out his wand and shot a healing spell at his nose. Don't you dare kiss me on the mouth, Malfoy said. As Harry leaned in, still holding Malfoy's jaw in a firm grip. Harry gave him a quick peck on the cheek. The barrier pressed hard on the small of Harry's back. This is stupid. Oh, redoing that. This is stupid, Malfoy said. And Harry's insides did a funny little twist. Malfoy's eyelashes were so pale, he realized. It made his eyes seem softer than they had any right to be. Everything else about Everything else about Malfoy seemed hard and sharp. Harry pressed his lips firmly to Malfoy's sneering mouth. Malfoy sucked in a breath, and Harry moved his lips against his. The pressure of the barrier lifted, but Malfoy's lips turned soft. They felt full and inviting beneath his, and Harry pressed on, tongue sliding into Malfoy's mouth. Malfoy made a breathy sound, his tongue moving against Harry's. His hands were in Harry's hair, apparently eager to turn it into even more horrid mess. Malfoy pulled him closer, close enough for Harry to feel Malfoy was goddamn hard. All the aches in Harry's body slowly turned to pleasure. Malfoy jumped away, leaving Harry standing there with his head spinning. It worked, Malfoy announced. I'll redo it again. It worked. It worked, Malfoy announced. His face was very red. He was blinking and breathing hard, and he seemed to focus a lot of his energy on it. He was straightening his robes, too. Unnecessarily, and Harry knew exactly what it was he was trying to hide. Yeah. Harry licked his lips. Definitely worked. I should... I don't know if I'll get to Piper today, guys. I'm just tired now. Anyway, I don't think I'll have time to post it because I'll be so busy next week. Malfoy cleared his throat. I should alert the professors. Tell them we found the one they've missed. As though it hurt him, the mistletoe spun and dashed away, disappearing behind the corner. I'll go after it then, Malfoy said. Very kind of you. Harry licked his lips again. He couldn't help himself. They wouldn't stop tingling. Right, Malfoy nodded. Potter. Malfoy. Harry nodded back. Malfoy turned and walked away, his back stiff. Harry suspected he was trying hard not to run. Let me take a nap. I'm slowly sinking into my bed. I doubt the tracking is picking me up anymore. Okay, I'm getting back up. Give me a second. 3, 2, 1. Lift. Okay. I'm back to full height. What do you guys think of the short story format? Do you prefer it more than the longer ones? Would you mind if in the future I covered a couple of authors that only write shorter fics? He was trying hard not to run. He also suspected their future encounters would be even more awkward now. Harry bit his still tingling bottom lip. He was rather looking forward to it. Okay, cool. Because I have a couple of authors I really like, but they don't really write things that are usually long enough for one-shots, so... there's no disclaimer for this fic, but I am moving on to another one, so... this is the transition scene, I guess. A Present by Faith Wood. Giving oneself a Christmas present was perfectly acceptable, in Draco's humble opinion. He certainly deserved one. Christmas was a time of cheer, and he was not cheerful, and was unlikely to be cheered up by anyone else. He might as well do it himself. Picking out his present was the easiest part. Actually getting it took some careful planning. The fact that most 8th years stayed in school for the holidays, studying for their newts, was a clear sign that the universe was on his side, and he should really do it. On the morning of December 25th, he would kiss Harry Potter. All he needed was a distraction. Fuck. All he needed was a distraction, an escape route, and to make sure that Madame Pomfrey was readily available, for he would definitely need a healer's attention if his escape should fail and Potter managed to hex him to smithereens. And he needed Potter to stay faithful to his new habit of getting up early to fly over the Hogwarts grounds. Luck was on Draco's side. Christmas morning was beautiful, the sun bright enough to make the snowy grounds sparkle. Draco didn't have to lurk too long. Hold on. Hey, Fanta. No, that's chill, my dude. Go to bed. I honestly prefer if you guys slept healthily. Ground sparkle. Draco didn't even have to lurk too long near the castle's entrance. Potter showed up without Weasley in tow, which would make everything easier. He was wrapped in a thick cloak, knitted dark red scarf and woolly hat, and didn't even notice Draco was hidden behind a nearby tree. Potter's boots crunched the fresh snow as he made his way towards the broom shed. Draco followed soon after. Draco wasn't running, but he was out of breath by the time he reached the shed. There was no room for panic, and second thoughts, though. He was doing this. It was settled. He entered the small, dark space. Potter spun around, the firebolt already in his hand. He visibly relaxed, and nodded. Malfoy. When Potter said his name like that, Draco could never tell if it was meant to be a simple greeting, or an accusation. Potter... Sorry, I, zoned out for a second. One more time. Draco returned the nod, and then hurried to grab his Nimbus before Potter could escape. He was already at the exit. What's wrong with your broom? Nope. One more time. What's wrong with your broom? Draco asked. Potter glanced between Draco and the firebolt in obvious panic. What? Nothing. He stood there, examining He stood there examining it, carefully nonetheless. Draco approached him, trying not to grin. It was the perfect thing to say. Of course it was. Potter and his precious broomstick. It has a crack, Potter. Draco stepped forward. He was standing very close now. There, on the handle. Potter's fingers slid over the wood with enormous care. You're taking the piss, Malfoy. I hate the way I said that sentence. You're taking the piss, Malfoy. What the fuck was... That was the most Australian shit I've ever done. You're taking the piss, Malfoy. I don't see it. Here. Draco took out his wand and lit it up with a quick, non-verbal Lumos. I think I did that wrong. Draco took out his wand and lit it up with a quick, non-verbal Lumos. Potter raised the broom closer to the light. Draco's stomach was doing somersaults. His escape plan was working perfectly. He had his wand in one hand, his Nimbus in the other. Now, he just had to do it. Potter was raising his head. It was now or never. Draco leaned in. His lips touched something soft and cold. He kissed Potter's cheek. God damn it! Draco jumped back. Potter was staring at him, eyebrows nearer to his hairline than Draco thought possible. What? Potter's mouth opened and then closed. He was silent for a moment. What was that? Draco clutched his wand, ready to defend himself. Potter was supposed to hex him, not just stand there talking and staring. But then again, Draco was not supposed to miss Potter's goddamn mouth. I was just trying to... I needed a closer look, and it was merely an accident. Oh, fuck it. Oh. Fuck it. Fuck explanations and fuck the whole thing. Draco jumped on his broom and shot out of the shed. His wand fell to the ground in the process, but He didn't even care. The cold air on his face was pure bliss. He thought his skin would melt from the heat. Sweet Merlin. Risking embarrassment for a kiss on the cheek was not the plan. Draco was flying fast towards the forbidden forest. His broom shuddered. It swerved to the right, turned completely around. It was heading back, straight towards Potter. Draco clutched the handle, pushed and pulled, but the broom ignored all of his attempts to regain control. Potter stood down in the ground. Potter stood down in the snow, his wand pointing at Draco, pulling him in. Draco imagined he could see his green eyes burn with anger. The ground was getting nearer. His nimbus seemed to have disappeared. He flew forward and slammed against Potter's chest. Potter caught him as deftly as he'd catch a snitch, with his arms wrapped around Draco's back. It was a wonder they didn't fall down. Their chests were pressed so tightly together, Draco couldn't tell whose heart was hammering between them. He pushed back as much as Potter's arms allowed it. He didn't get far. Potter's face was much too close to his. Potter had lost his woolly hat, and his black hair was catching snowflakes. Draco hadn't noticed the sun had disappeared, not with Potter around. I asked, "What was that?" Potter sounded rather calm, and had spoken very slowly. His gaze was fixed on Draco's eyes. Wandless and broomless, Draco had little choice. It's Christmas, Potter. I wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas. Obviously. He forced his lips to stretch into a smile. Merry Christmas, Potter. He thumped Potter's back, as hard as their proximity allowed it, and then air-kissed both of Potter's cheeks. May it be jolly and filled with fattening delights. Potter stared. I see. He still held Potter trapped against him. The cold had pinked his cheeks. Well then. He leaned in closer. Draco held his breath. Potter didn't hex him, or bite him, or air-kiss his cheeks. He kissed Draco right on the mouth. Potter had good aim. And he could kiss. He could make Draco's toe curl. He could make Draco's toes curl with a swipe of his tongue. He could make Draco's body surge forward with a tilt of his head. He could make him whimper by pulling away. Merry Christmas, Potter said. His lips were wet. He was smiling. He released Draco and stepped back. 2 flicks of his wand delivered Draco's broom, and one to his hand. Potter sure knew how to summon things he wanted. Or maybe Everything and everyone was eager to end up in his hands. Potter handed Draco his broom and wand, and summoned his firebolt. He was up on it in seconds, flying away, taking the merry part of Christmas with him. What a time to realize a mere kiss was a curse, not a present. Oi, Malfoy. Draco turned to see Potter, up in the air, staring down at him with a frown. Are we flying or what? Potter cocked his head. You know I'll beat you in a race. I can't believe you're giving me a head start. Draco clutched his broom, blinking up at Potter. His mind cleared. Potter wanted them to fly together. Also, Potter just kissed him. I can afford it, Draco said, with a sudden burst of energy. He could afford it. He was sure he didn't even need a broom to fly. He jumped on his Nimbus, nonetheless, and pulled up next to Potter. Winner gets a prize, right? Potter grinned. Hurry up and find out, he said, and soared towards the forest. Draco gripped his broom and hurried. And another disclaimer at the end of that one. Don't make a plan to kiss someone without their consent, / kiss someone without their consent. It's cute in fanfiction, not in real life. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed all the short stories. I love this author and I've always wanted to write. I love this author and I've always wanted to read their shorter stories, but never had an excuse to put them all together. Nope. I love this author, and I've always wanted to read all their short stories for you guys, but needed an excuse. Anyway, I hope you guys have a lovely day. I won't be doing an ending segment today because I'm too lazy. Your friend is a nightmare. And also, that is not very legal. Don't do that. That's not a good idea. Okay, guys. I'm skipping Piper. I've decided it's too late. I gotta go do work. And I really want pancakes, so I'm gonna go get those. I'm sorry. I hope you guys enjoyed. We had way more people than usual today. I think maybe because it's a holiday, generally around the world. But, yeah, don't be friends with those kinds of people. That's worrying. But thank you to everyone for joining me. Thank you, Jaden. Hello. Thank you, Mineral. Thank you, lovely person who has a horrible childhood friend whose name I unfortunately don't know. Hello. Thank you, Ace. Thank you, Mousen. Thank you. Oh god, so many people. Thank you, Jelly Roll. There's too many now. Thank you, everyone. Even if I didn't say your name in that last couple of sentences, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys joining me. I'm gonna do my ending scream so that you guys can catch up to where I am. And I hope you guys have a lovely good night, or good day, or good midday, or good midnight. Anyway,